If I can do it, you can do it better. Thank you again, everyone, and congratulations back.
And now it's my pleasure to call upon Regent Robert Kahune to introduce our commencement speaker, Admiral Kahune.
Aloha and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot be more proud and pleased than to introduce a friend and a fellow Kamehameha School graduate as our commencement speaker this evening, Mike Connie, the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Kamehameha Schools, a school that serves children of Native Hawaiian ancestry through 3 K-12 campuses with approximately 6,000 students, 31 preschools with over 1,500 students, and numerous extension programs that reach out to over 35,000 students in the public school system. The Kamehameha School is the single biggest source of private school students who attend Chaminade and provides Chaminade's Native Hawaiian students with tuition aid when they demonstrate such need. The Kamehameha School also provides funding for Chaminade's Charter School Administration Program, which targets leaders of Hawaiian-focused charter schools. But aside from being the chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Kamehameha Schools, Micah's primary job is the Chief Operating Officer of Pacific Links, Hawaii. Although Micah was born in Chico, California, his parents moved back to Hawaii when he was only 3 months old. After graduating from the Kamehameha Schools, he received a bachelor's degree in business administration from Menlo College, graduating cum laude. He played both football and baseball at Menlo College, and in 2007, he was inducted into the Menlo College Sports Hall of Fame for his outstanding performance in football. Micah's prior to becoming a trustee at the Kamehameha Schools, Micah was a chairman of the Hawaiian Homes Commission, which administers he was the chair also which administers the Department of Hawaiian Homelands. He is also a former chairman and executive director of Hawaii's Republican Party. He has also served as a government affairs liaison for the Building Industry Association and a business consultant for the Pacific Business Center. A role model for servant leadership, Micah has served on many not-for-profit boards, including the Hawaii Community Foundation, the Koniski Child's Foundation, the Hawaii Meth Project, Education First, and the Friends of United Palace, just to name a few. An outstanding leader in every sense of the word. His leadership awards include the Hawaiian Leader of the Year Award from the Ko'olaupoku Hawaiian Civics Club, the Ho'olu Leadership Award for Government, the Environmental Council Award, the Aloha Spirit of the Year Award from the Aloha United Way, and the Housing Advocate of the Year Award from the Building Industry Association of Hawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the Chief Operating Officer of Pacific Links Hawaii and the Chairman of the Board of Trustees of the Kamehameha Schools, Micah Connie.
Before I begin, I really would like to thank Admiral Kahune. It's such an honor to be introduced by somebody we admire, especially us in the Hawaiian community. First Hawaiian to wear 3 stars for the United States Navy, former commander for the U.S. Pacific Fleet, a former trustee of Kamehameha Schools at a time when who had some very challenging issues to face, and just a tremendous role model for all of us younger guys striving to make a place in this world for us. So please join me in a hand for I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognize a very dear friend of mine, a very dear friend of people in the Chaminade community, Uncle Henry Gomes. Uncle Henry Gomes passed away this past year. Yeah, please, round of applause for Uncle Henry. Uncle Henry Gomes passed away from a long bout of cancer this past year. He spent decades serving the Chaminade community, starting as a faculty, moving on to being the assistant provost, and then ending his career as the director of Native Hawaiian Partnerships. For those of us in the Hawaiian community, he served as just a humble leader that we all could look up to, and I feel so honored to have been able to call him a friend and a mentor to me. So really dedicate my words to him this evening. You know, I really dwelled hard about my time here this evening with our graduates. And I thought about myself some 20 years back, listening to my commencement speaker. I remembered his words. He said, follow your passion, follow your passion, follow your passion. And I had no idea what my passion was at that time. I had no idea what was around the corner for me. What I did know was that I wanted that sheet of paper, and I wanted to attend the festivities after this event. That was at the top of my mind. But I'm 44 years old, and my life has been through a whirlwind of one unexpected opportunity and challenge after another, and has included a fair amount of trials and tribulations. You know, my mother passed away when I was just a young boy. She had suffered from mental illness at a time when there was little known about the disease, and families pretty much kept it to themselves. I didn't understand how she passed away until I was renewing my license at the age of 17, and I needed to present her death certificate to the clerk. And I looked down in the lower right-hand corner and I saw carbon monoxide poisoning. And I realized at that time, pieces started to fall in place for me, understanding what happened in my early years. My family was devastated some years later, like so many other families in Hawaii, when my father became addicted to crystal methamphetamine. He had been a great father up until that point. Before that addiction, it was a tough road back for him. It was a tough road for our family. Now, this is the first time that I've ever discussed my mother and father in public, but I wanted to share this part of my life with those who are graduating, who may be facing similar challenges in your life, so that you can tell and feel that life does get better and that there's light out there. You know, none of us are here can control the cards that we're dealt in life, but we sure can determine what kind of hand we create with those cards. And while I have a little bit more clarity today about where my passion is, you know, I'm not exactly sure what's around the next corner for me as well. I feel the same way in a little bit, like I felt some 20 years ago when I sat in your folks' seats. So I thought maybe the best way to spend my 10 minutes with you folks would be to share with you a little bit of a framework that I've created for the journey that's in front of me, in hopes that I can bring you along with me. And I want to share just 3 simple and quick thoughts with you, and I hope it helps you on your journey. The first is that I've come to believe, for the most part, our competition is lazy. And I would put that in the 90 percentile category. I would take a look around. Are you in the 90 or are you in the 10? Make an early decision to be in the 10. In fact, the 90% scare me, and they should scare you, because there's lots of them. You know, there's a lot of mediocrity in the world, whereas at the 10%, there's a lot of space, and the view is clear. Another way of describing this is being ready. Every time I was giving my best effort, opportunity after opportunity landed in my lap from places that I least expected it. Tonight already, in the time that you've been here, opportunity has been presented to you, but we didn't see it. For those who saw it, go grab it. But those of us who haven't seen it, and I haven't seen it yet, that means we have to work harder, and that clarity will come. The second thought I'd like to share with you, and many people, as you move on in life, will tell you to find a mentor. I want to twist that a little bit. I want to ask you to focus on being mentorable. There's a big difference in trying to find a mentor and being mentorable. If you haven't already realized it already, you will real soon, that there's no shortage in the world of people who want to give you advice. But attracting the ones that will have a positive impact on your life takes discipline, it takes commitment, because they are looking for the same 10% that I talked about a little earlier. However, you and I are very fortunate, because the generation above me and 2 generations above you are plentiful, and there's a lot of smart people there who want to share their experiences with you. Being mentorable means committing to lifelong learning. It means putting yourself and your work ethic and your thinking, your logic under brutal scrutiny by really, really smart and successful people. It's not having lunch once a month with someone older than you, or a periodic phone call to bounce some ideas off of. It's face-to-face with prepared thoughts. I have a few people that I have the honor to meet with on a consistent basis. It's face-to-face with prepared thoughts. I prepare for that time together. There's a structure to our meeting, and they have 100% of my attention while I'm there. In fact, we have a rule, no cell phones. And while they will never tell me what to do, my actions going forward reflect that discussions. On the flip side, if you find yourself not attracting the mentors that you so desire, the first place we need to look is in the mirror. And the answers will be there. And there's time for us to work to achieve those things. Lastly, and probably the most important, I hope you join me in recognizing that we all need God in our lives. I have 3 daughters, ages 13, 14, and 15, so you'd think that this would have come to me a lot earlier. I walk around my house knowing that there's an estrogen time bomb at any given time. But with all kidding aside, my wife and daughters are born and raised Catholic. And although I have not followed any particular religion in my life, I'm convinced that every human being needs guidance from God. And people have different beliefs in what God is, and that's okay. But having a spiritual guide that's larger than yourself will help you to get to the 10% we think we should be at. We will find as our decisions become more important, as they impact more people, that our reliance on God becomes much greater. It's not a relationship of convenience. It's a continuous personal reflection and scrutiny of your life every day of 360 degrees. I've made a personal pact with God, and I would ask you to consider the same. To work like it's up to me, and to pray like it's up to God. To work like it's up to me, and pray like it's up to God. The 3 things that I've mentioned this evening are not only concepts and values that will help you in your career and my career going forward. They are values that will refine you as a human being helping you through the toughest of times, preparing you to see around the corner at the opportunities that are coming far beyond the 90%ers, and without question help you through the darkest of days. So today, don't worry about not being passionate about something. You know, focus on the three things that I hope we have some time together with. Choose to be in the 10%. Build a discipline to mentor, be mentorable, commit your life to lifelong learning, and recognize you all need God. Work like it's up to you. Pray like it's up to God. Congratulations on this very important achievement. Good luck in all that you do. I hope that our paths cross on this journey together. Wow.
Now let us proceed to the awarding of degrees.
Finally.
Will the candidates for the associate degrees please stand? Will the candidates for the bachelor's degrees please stand? The faculty of Chaminade University of Honolulu attests that these candidates, upon completion of all requirements for their respective degrees, are worthy of receiving them.
You, okay? Just let me know when mom's up there.
In my own name, and that of Chaminade University of Honolulu, and by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents and the State of Hawaii,
Shouldn't get woo-wooed.
I confer on these candidates
Hey,
the
if you want to
degrees
do
for
that,
which
you
they have
can
been
give the
approved
camera there. Like,
with all the rights, privileges
you're going to be
thereunto
able to do both at the
appertaining.
same time.
Yeah, I'm just putting on the
Traditionally, the turning of the tassel from the right to the left side of the cap symbolizes the student's transition from candidate to graduate. Chaminade